Hello, everyone. I love interviewing new, bright faces, sparkly faces, and here she is. Her name is Baylan. And, it's all resonance. And I was watching on Facebook, and she just popped out. She was in the Feminine Frequency Festival. I was in the first one, she was in the second one. And I reached out to her and I said, I would love to introduce you to the SOAR community because I feel the core of your work is empowering other women, and you have walked that path. And then I was so happy to congratulate you that you were in the top. Feminine Frequency gave little awards, and you won an award for being the most watched and loved, and so that must have felt wonderful too. So thank you for spending this time with me today, Baylan.
Well,
Now,
thank you so much for having me on. Yes,
good, good.
thank you.
Just great to hear your voice. I'm all about voices. Now, you live in Oakland, California, correct?
Yes,
Have you
yes,
always been a California girl?
absolutely. Always been an East Bay girl. I've never really, I've traveled around, but have always lived in the East Bay between San Leandro and El Cerrito. Yes.
Amazing. Well, I was born in Oakland and I grew up in San Leandro. So another thing, a little dot on the geophysical dot there. But what we're doing now, and I see your work, and I'll be bringing that information out for our community, is that I bet you're working a lot on Zoom, so there's no limitations to the people that you can work with at present, correct?
Correct. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Zoom has been such a gift to the world because it has made the communication immediate and so simple, so incredibly simple for anyone around the world.
It's the
Mhm.
silver lining that has pushed the envelope for us to realize that is not just our community, our friends, everyone is available to interact with now. So let's talk about some of your programs. And I was just going through, you've done so many wonderful presentations, but you have been a host of the Global Dream Makers. Tell me about your role in that, what it is, what the purpose is, who can come.
Well, okay. So Global Dream Makers is actually the movement that I am creating. It's a movement of people who are aware and conscious that their lives matter and that the work that they're bringing into the world, whether it's within the work within their small family unit or it's within the nations, uh, that we are all part of creating this dream. We each have a specific piece of the puzzle that we are here to fulfill and to bring to the world. And in my trying to understand, through my life journey, all of the different things that I've done, I was trying to find out, well, how do I organize my world, right? How do I understand? Because when you start to put the layer of a spiritual life on top of all the regular, shall we call it the regular work of life, then I need to connect it all. And I can be in your dream maker matrix because everybody has their own unique matrix. And how do you become aware of that and then ripple your work and your life? Ripple everything out into the areas of your life. So anybody and everybody can do their matrix, can create what are the most important things to you in the five areas of your life? What would make you so incredibly happy? I'm not going to say joyful. A lot of people, it's hard for them to relate to, well, what is joy? Let's just stay with happy to begin with, and then you can move upwards. It's like, well, bliss, what is bliss? We're not going there. We're going to just, what makes you happy? And we start there, and then you can expand from there. So, Global Dream Makers, we do several things. We have the courses, the workshops. We have what's now going to be a quarterly summit, the Dream Maker Summit. So I'll have different speakers. I'd love to have you come on. the next one we're going to have is going to be really focusing on mindset within the 5 different areas. And then I just started my own podcast, and I'm calling it The Leader's Edge, because I really believe we have the leader's edge is not one that is solely mental. It really is our connection to spirit. That is our leader's edge. When we, especially moving into the world we're creating now, when we can tap into our intuition and our connection to the other side and bring that into what we do in the world, imagine what's possible. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So that's what Global Dream Makers is. It's bringing people into an environment where they can thrive and be encouraged to walk their path and to be what the leader that they are here to be.
As you speak, it's almost as if we women that are stepping forward are hearing a recipe. When you say even bringing the puzzle pieces of your seemingly fragmented life previously, now bringing it together to mastery and stepping out, Baylan, that's the same words I use. And I do believe
Yay!
that we are the transition agents, and we are seeing a bigger, brighter, not quite clearly in focus reality. And we know we're the leaders, and we're like, what? And so you have you've heard this call, and the call does not come externally or from other people, because obviously so many of us are hearing the same call. Tell the listeners how you access the voice of spirit, the next direction, so that you intuitively are being guided by the next highest step. I think you froze on that
Well,
question.
that question, that okay. Can you hear me? Can you
You
hear me
froze
now?
there, you froze there for a moment, which is fine. A pregnant pause. Here we go.
Okay. All right. Um, you said the right word. Higher, higher. I was given advice by a general, a friend of mine. He's a general, and I asked him, when you have a difficult time and you are trying to find what is the next step that you as a leader, you may have battalions of people behind you and you're responsible for them. How do you make that decision? And he said, I always reach for the higher thought. I always stand for what is in the highest good. And that is what I do. When I am accessing, I open up. I open up and I say, and I may be having ego issues happening, right? Highest thing I can do right now because I cannot see it. I cannot see it. Please, I ask, right? This is something I teach people. You ask first. I ask and then I listen. I look around. There are signs all the time. And if I am open to receiving my answer, I'll see it or I'll hear it. The radio, I get all kinds of stuff on the radio,
And
on the radio or open books. I know.
sometimes when we're driving a car or brushing our teeth, you made an important point there. We don't have to meditate like yogis in a cave. It's the flow, the intuitive flow of going about our lives and interacting with people that the aha experiences come. Now, tell me about your life. Tell me it specifically, were there significant, inspiring authority figures, your mother, somebody gave you some of these navigation skills? Tell me a little bit about your childhood, your early years.
Well, I know that in my early years, to keep us occupied in the summertime, we were rewarded for reading biographies and making a report. And one of the ones that I really resonated with was Eleanor Roosevelt.
Yes.
And yes, Eleanor Roosevelt, wonderful, incredible woman. And and really just to see what is possible if you just have a conviction and then you speak to it, right? When I look back at the women who have been in my life, just my relatives, I have had so many strong women role models, independent women, women who have made their own mark on the planet. And so I've had my own relatives to look at. And in my own journey of discovering, well, who is Baylan and what is Baylan being all about? Discovering my ancestors, people who were important to others and helped in the healing of their communities. So for me, it was a big step to step into, well, who is Baylan and what is Baylan here to do? Because Baylan was a name that was given to me. It not by my parents. It was a name that was given to me during a retreat, and it was it took a while. It took a while for me to step into being a spiritual teacher, being someone who is connected to the other side. And as I stepped in that, uh, you know, at first it was rough, shall we say? It wasn't terribly sophisticated, or it was just I had to get out there. And so I just started speaking. I just started sharing. I just started, um, whatever came to me that was important to share, that's what I shared. It doesn't happen all the time. So I'm not one of those people who has been able to say, oh, I was given I I have a thought that was sparked by something that Oprah said, right? One of those role models of, how do we handle our responsibility in the world? I think that's probably what all the women in my life have taught me is like, we have a responsibility not only to our families, not only to our families, but we have a responsibility to everybody whose lives we touch in our communities and in all of our interactions. Now it's everybody in the world because we have Zoom, right? Because we have Facebook. So the women and the people, there and some men, but the women who have been really impactful for me are ones who have taught me that you have to have the good of the people in your heart. You have to start there, and sometimes you have to step aside, but you have to continue to move forward. Continue. Don't stop.
There's some wonderful nuggets in there for our listeners. My daughter went to Scripps University, and the first day they were told, to those who much is given, much is expected. And I believe that the emerging women leaders, though we haven't often really seen ourselves as leaders, um, we really, when we take the inventory, we have been given everything we need to launch ourselves on this path. But it's also important to recognize that we all occasionally hit the wall. And I know I've had my walls, and the energy that it takes to either peek around or to climb over that wall. And I know the strongest women, the leaders, have had those challenges. And is there anything that you would want to share about your path that was part of building your inner strength?
Yes, yes. My when I've been married twice. In my first marriage, I have my daughter, right? My daughter. She was 5 years old, and um, I had done everything perfectly. I was a good wife. We had a nice home. I had a good job in corporate America. I was in international investment management, so it was interesting and exciting. And it wasn't me. It really wasn't me. And I was married to a probation officer, and his caseload was high level drug dealers and murderers.
Oh,
So these were people who were on probation. And one day we went to the grocery store, and this is, part of his job was going into court, and in court they would threaten him, they would threaten the family. So I was aware of these things, right? And so um, we went into a grocery store one day, and he told me, go the other direction. And I was like, why? He just go the other direction. It was because one of his guys was just down at the other end of the aisle, and he did not want that person to see us together. So I did not feel safe. And then the next day, I went to my car, and because of the mindset that you're in that kind of job, I went to my car and I realized that I was looking for tripwires on my door. I was looking for tripwires on my front screen door. And I thought, this is not the way to live. This is not the way I want my daughter to learn that this is okay, because it's not. This is not the world that I believe exists for all of us. There is a small portion of the planet that needs this for their experience. But the life that I want my daughter to learn that she can live in, the world that she can live in, is one of openness and beauty and love and peace and collaboration. And that is not what I was living. And I had to make a big decision. I tried a little bit longer. I tried a little bit longer, but Spirit had a different idea, took me down. I had a little blow up, and I couldn't go back. I really could not go back. I had to make a decision that what is the life I want to live, and what is the life that I want to show people is possible. And so I never looked back.
Well, that certainly was one of those moments, and you made the choice for yourself and the principles of life, which were important to you in the way that you wanted to live. And that brings me to my next question, because as
Mm.
you are training and working with women to become leaders, I know that you do see a brighter world, that you do see a collaborative, harmonious, brotherly sister love world. Um, can you describe that? Can you describe what you are working towards? You must believe it, and you are seeing it to be co-creating it with like-minded beings. So let's give the listeners some real hope. What do you see, and what are you working towards?
Well, ultimately, I am working toward peace. I am working toward peace. I had a teacher once who said, I only pray for peace, because if you have peace in all areas of your life, meaning you don't have any discord or any problems, say in your finances or in your relationships or in your job, if you don't have any problems there, you have peace, right? And so if I pray for peace, then I'm praying that everything is peaceful. Everything's going smoothly. It's going the way I want, right? So that is the world I look for creating. And I know that I don't know what peace means for you. I don't. You know what peace means for you. You know what will make you happy. And so this is why the Dream Maker Matrix is so important, Jan. What I ask you is, what will give you the life of a 10 or above in each area of your life? You know what will make you happy.
Oh, it's
And
so
so,
refreshing to hear inspirational teacher not tell people what will make them happy. So it sounds like you have some wonderful workshops, and one of your programs caught my eye because I use the same term, Queen's Chalice. It says 5 key elements of your Queen's Chalice. So just to give a hint of how you help a woman envision and embody this, can you just tell us a little bit about this specific 5 key elements?
oh boy, 5 keys. Let me see. I don't remember what they were.
Well, just in
But
general,
I
I'm sure it was
yeah.
a flash of brilliance, and there's the program. I'm the same thing. I look at a flyer and say, that looks interesting. I did that. I, I know you know the answer to this.
Yes, yes, yes. I mean, really, the the key, the main key, is to know who you are. Who you are. What do you value? What is so important to you that you experience in life, right? How do you want to feel, right? We want to know the qualities. What are the qualities of your life? Because when you say something like, I want a light-filled space. Well, what does a light-filled space look like for you? Is this, is it one that has windows everywhere and a skylight? Or is it one that's brightly lit? Or is it one that just sparkles and you can feel the energy in the space? What does it mean for you? Right? So, understanding what lights you up, what makes you happy, right? Then, when you know that, you'll want that over and over and over again. So, when you're making your decisions, you're choosing what will give me that experience again, what will get me closer to that. And if you make a decision not to go in that direction, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a different decision. It just means that you're going to um, uh, embellish, you're going to add to your experience once you get to that other space, right? So you're just adding to what you're going to bring to your basket. I talk to people about having their basket of tools, and all of our experiences give us different tools and different knowledge. And so making that decision to go further away from what you dream of having is not a wrong decision. It's just a different decision, because as the queen, that's what you're doing. You're deciding for yourself what your experience is going to be. And you are ready to experience all of it to the full, to the full, and to incorporate whatever lessons, whatever wonderful things that come to you as a result of living that part of that path. So really knowing yourself so that you can make those decisions about which way you want to go, right or left, forward, backwards. Knowing yourself well enough, or discovering what that is as you go along, right? That if you have that, then you can trust that you can handle anything that the world brings to you. And the world would never bring anything to you that you can't handle, really. So it's trusting yourself that you know yourself well enough that you could make a decision, and then making the decision. Mhm.
What you are saying, it's so wise, and it's so deeply divine feminine. It is
Mhm.
being authentic, it's being natural, it's using the image of a basket, which we women use, things in our basket, things out of our basket as gatherers, and there's no hype. I'm imagining that when women work with you, they just feel just gentle and rocked and in this flow of feminine safety. It's safe to be exactly where I'm at, and I'm learning to make choices, and these choices empower me. So your global dream makers, do you have these quarterly? How do people sign up? How do they find you? Do you have a mailing list?
Well, yes, I am building a mailing list. If they go to globaldreammakers.com and join the list, they will be part of all of the new things that I'm creating. The main initial course that I have for people where they can design their matrix, I'm going to be creating so it's online, available 24/7. So that the goal is to have that ready by the end of March. Uh, yeah, so they'll be able to do that. They can create your matrix. Other than that, I do them as 1-day visioning workshops. I can do that with them, and I also do it as a group. And then, as you said, once once people have gone through and created their matrix, because we need to have the same languaging understood and the same approach. Then we have the 12-week modules where we go deeper. We go much deeper. Each area we go deeper. Yeah. So yeah, that's what we do. That's what we do. And then to help support people in shifting mindset a little bit, we'll have the leader's edge. What are all the different pieces that are related to being a leader in your life?
You have developed this out very powerfully, and it's also interesting. My Be the Light coaching is also 12 weeks. That must be the magic number of graduating with these new systems and processes in place. And we need your systems and your processes. And a certain number of the population need to hear it from you, from your voice, from your approach. And that's why I interview people. There will be people saying, ah, she is my teacher. I mean, just looking at you, your beautiful, soft countenance, and just the way that the way that you bring your work to the world. And I loved how you claimed it, my work. We all have this powerful work to do, and you're bringing it forward in the feminine way, not the hype sign up here back at the room sales. So I so appreciate that as well. Um, just go ahead and look into the future. And what would you like to see in your life happening and around you? Say 5 years from now.
Oh, a lot's going to be different. I am going to be living by the water, warm water, warm water. Um, I'm going to be speaking to audiences around the world and holding retreats. I'm going to be holding retreats so that people have more of an experience of their transformation, which is different than just doing the online. Um,
Yes,
I I see that I'm doing it more and more and more and helping people to transform their lives and to create their dreams, to really create the life that they want. I know that right now we're in this time of transition
yes,
where everyone is being forced to really look at, well, what do I want to do to not only pay the bills, but to really show up happy every day,
yes,
to to where I want to be. So what do I want to do, right? How do I want to be? How do I want to be a few years from now? And so what do I need to do now to get there,
yes,
right? And to do it in a, as you said, in a gentle way. We don't need to make ourselves do things that are difficult. We don't have to do that. When we are clear, things show up. Things show up. We put our we put our order in to the on the menu in the restaurant in the sky. We say this is the meal I want to have, and it shows up to the degree that we are clear.
I have to share something with you. I must have ordered water.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, and
There you go.
I also have Zoom retreats now, but we'll resume in-person
Yes.
Divine Feminine retreats here on the property, and invite people like you, and we will Zoom out. We will Zoom and bring all of our different communities together like a great nexus wheel, a hub, all the
Yes.
communities, your community, my community, and speaking and cross pollinate until the vibrational woven field is illuminated.
That's so yummy. Oh my goodness.
That's what we're
I
doing.
love it.
That's what we're
I love
doing together. And that's why I reached out to you. I can tell who's on the team. And I always say to them, you're just a visitor here. And they go, yeah, I know. I know. I've known them for a while. So That's kind of our little inside. I see you. I know who you are. And we know what is ahead for Earth. And we know that it's on our watch to see that it happens. And so we
Yes.
show up, we do the work, we meet each other, we joyfully honor and support each other. And again, bringing the ingredient of your vibration today helps raise the cake, the celebration, the jubilation of creating a new reality together. So,
Mm.
as we finish this, oh, perfect. It's between 30 and 40 minutes, and we're right there. Um, is there any final closing words you'd like to say? How about how people can contact you again and work with you, and what is imminently coming up that they can join?
Well, let's see. I have, again, go to globaldreammakers.com. And for working with me one on one or uh, for your mentoring, for life mentoring, there's baylanmegino.com. So I have my site. Everything's being redone right now. Next month is the first quarter Dream Maker Summit. It's going to be the 22nd to the 26th of March, and we will have one every 3 months. So I would love to have people join the list so that they could be informed of when that's happening. If they're interested in doing their Dreammaker Matrix, they can send me a message, Baylan at globaldreammakers.com, and we'll look at what is the best way to do that for them. I am planning on starting the next Queen's Chalice at the very beginning of April. So we have a month to get your matrix done.
Beautiful.
Yes. Mhm.
That's all very, very exciting. And again, thank you for spending this time today. This will go up on YouTube and we'll share it far and wide. Thank you for spending this blessed time with me. So lovely to get to know you.
Thank you so much, Jen, and blessings to you for bringing together such a wonderful community. Thank you.
My good fortune. Do you feel that you have a message that you want to share with the world, but you feel like your voice is not being heard? We are here to help. We are SOAR with Sacred Circles, TV shows, radio shows, and workshops. We have created a special place for you to connect and find your voice in empowered community. Connect with us at soundandlighthealingarts.com.